2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 5. As for you, always be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. This is the response that Paul expects from Timothy because of what he had just described from the previous two verses we looked at yesterday. While there are people with itching ears wanting to hear what they want and looking for preachers to give them what they want, and amidst that, Paul uses the phrase, as for you, the same way he has said, you however, and but as for you in the previous chapter, when he was making a similar contrast with the false teachers. He's continuing to remind Timothy to be careful and faithful to his ministry when people so easily drift away from the truth. So he says in the verse, as for you, always be sober-minded. We know being sober is the opposite of being drunk in a literal sense. In a metaphorical sense, this could mean free from every form of mental or spiritual drunkenness. As we know from the previous verse that this is in contrast to the people who allowed themselves to come under the influence of myths. And so the call is to be sober-minded without being under the influence of false teachings. And then he says in the verse, endure suffering. The instruction to endure suffering repeats from the previous chapters. He's not saying when the suffering comes, endure it. But the way it is mentioned, we are to expect it and endure it when the inevitable happens. We will look at the remaining two commands of the verse tomorrow. Have a blessed day.